Hi there and welcome. This is Jennifer McGuire and thank you for stopping by. So lately I've been looking around my craft room at some of the supplies that I haven't used recently, and so I thought I would put them to good use in some videos. So today is about using different glitter pastes and pearl pastes and gels on your cards, and also how to incorporate them with dies that you may have. So if you have any kind of texture paste, glitter gel, anything like that, today's video will be helpful. And it also gives you some ideas for adding a glitter or shine background to something that won't rub off. So let's start with these two cards here that have a lot of glitter in the background that stays put and adds some interest to a die cut background. These cards feature the new Pretty Pink Posh birthday cake background. I'm really excited about this because I actually struggle with birthday cards, and this fills a whole card. You can do die cut inlay, you can build up layers, you can do soft colors, bright colors, anything you want. And today I'll do a faux glitter die cut inlay using glitter paste. Super easy to do, and I'll do two versions, a light version and a darker version, just to show you that changing up one color can make a big difference in the final card. So I'm starting with two pieces of cardstock, one black, one white. Both are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I've cut pieces of Altenew double-sided adhesive sheets to be slightly smaller, not much, just a little bit. I will cover both of these cardstock pieces with that double-sided adhesive. You do not need to use double-sided adhesive for this, but it will be a huge time saver. These adhesive sheets from Altenew are definitely a new favorite of mine, but whatever adhesive sheets you have should work just fine. Next, I have another piece of white cardstock that I'm die cutting with the birthday cake background. There's no adhesive on this cardstock, it's just plain white cardstock. Once I've die cut it, I will take all of that die cut piece and lay it onto the adhesive of the white cardstock piece. So this is the outline die cut and all the pieces. If any pieces fall out, just pop them back in. So you're covering all of that adhesive. I'll press that down and then we'll set this white one aside, and let's move on to the black one. It's a little different. I remove the release paper. Then I also use the background die to cut from another piece of black cardstock. This time I'm only pressing the outline down. I'll use my release paper to help me press that in place so my fingers don't stick into the exposed adhesive. All that cloudy white area is exposed adhesive. Now on the black one, I'm doing a die cut inlay. So I want to inlay in those open areas some colorful pieces. So I went through my scrap drawer and found pieces that would work for the background, for the balloons, and for the cake. Different colors of blue cardstock. And I'm laying them into the exposed adhesive. I love doing this die cut inlay. Feels like putting together a puzzle. So I'll continue to add those colorful pieces and then we'll come back to this background. So basically I have a black outline with colorful pieces filling it. Now back to the white piece that we did. Remember, it has all those die cut pieces, but everything's white. On this one, I thought I'd go ahead and add color with markers. So you don't have to use color pieces for inlay. You can use your markers too. You could do watercolor, markers, color pencils, whatever you feel comfortable with. For me, the fastest way to put down color is Copic markers, but whatever you have will work just fine. Notice I'm not staying in the lines. Even the outline image of the birthday cake and balloons, I'm coloring. We'll fix that later. Just make sure all the pieces that are inlaid, that are fit into the pattern, have color on them. I am taking a little bit of time to shade them. Really, in the end, you don't need to, but I wanted to show you that this was a possibility in case you didn't want to add the glitter on. The glitter will hide some of the shading and shadowing that I'm doing, but if you want to leave it as is, you can. Okay, so there are my two versions. Let me freeze this here. On the left, we have, it looks like a mess. We have the coloring that we added, all with markers. On the right, we did a die cut inlay, and we could stop there, put in a happy birthday message, even build up layers if you want to, and you'd have a fun card. But I thought I would add more interest to it by adding some glitter. There's one more step we need to do to each. On this soft background on the left that we added color with marker, I have die cut an additional white die cut, so just the outline here, and I'm adding liquid adhesive to the back of it. I will then lay that on top of our coloring and look at how it cleans it up. Remember, I didn't stay in the lines? This hides that where I got kind of messy. So we only see the color through the openings. And look how great that looks. You could stop that there if you wanted to. You don't have to be great at coloring. I'm not great at coloring. It's just about having some color in that white inlay look. It's super fun. But we're going to step that up in a moment. Next, let's go to the black background. On this, I have die cut another birthday cake background from black cardstock, and I'll glue that on top of our die cut inlay piece. You want to have one layer built up on the outline before doing the next step. Okay, so now I have decided to use a glitter paste on top of this. This is Tonic Moonstone Glimmer Paste. Now there are glitter gels, there are glimmer paste, there are all kinds of things you could use here. I am choosing a clear paste that has iridescent glitter in it. Whatever you have should work just fine here. And what I'm doing is I am putting a coat of this over our inlay background. So this is going to go over everything. It's going to look like a hot mess at first. I promise you that, but I promise it'll get better. I really want to fill in all of the background with that glitter paste. And because the outline is one thicker than the background, you can wipe across it. See how I'm going across it with the stencil pal? I can go smooth across it, and it causes a layer of glitter paste in the background, but then the white raised area, the outline, stays pretty clean. It's okay if glitter paste gets on it, but by having those built up walls, you get an even layer of glitter paste along the background. So I covered absolutely everything with it. You could mask off areas if you want to, but trust me, this will look good in the end. Now this one's going to look even worse as we add the same glitter paste, but I'm putting it over the entire thing. You can see I'm using a palette knife to spread it around. Then you can use the same palette knife, the edge of a piece of cardstock, the edge of a credit card, whatever, or a stencil pal to smooth it over everything and make it nice and even. And you'll have an even coat of glitter paste thanks to that outline that's raised a bit so that the glitter paste kind of forms inside of the raised areas. Be sure to scrape back any excess into the bottle and wash off your tools right away so that it doesn't dry there. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside to let them dry for an hour or so. After I've done that, I can come back and I have another white die cut outline that I'll glue on top of that dried. The reason I'm gluing that on top is if any of the glitter paste is on top of our outline, we're hiding it. So now the glitter is only in the open areas in the background. Isn't that cool? It gives a look of doing some crazy amount of glittering, but really glitter paste is easy to work with and it won't rub off. Now for the black one, you can see it's kind of a mess over there on the right. So I have a clean black die cut to glue on top now that it's dry, and that gives it a nice clean look. Now I used a lot of the same colors on these two cards, but you get a very different look depending on if you have a white outline or the black outline. So you could do different ones. You could do a soft gray or a metallic, anything you want. And that has a completely glittered background too that won't rub off. Now I did feel like this needed a white outline. In real life, it really felt kind of dark with all the dark outline. So I did another white die cut, but I only cut off the frame and then I glued that around it too. So we had black outline on the inside and a nice white frame around the outside. For sentiment, I used the older Pretty Pink Posh Celebrate shaker die, which I've used before. This is actually great for making shaker windows or a frame, but I'm cutting the word Celebrate out from it, so I can add just the word alone to my card. I die cut 2 from black cardstock and used spray adhesive to glue the 2 layers together. Once that was dry, I cut out the word Celebrate. If I want to, I can use that frame on another project. For this one, I just need the word Celebrate. So look at any of your frame dies. If they have words or elements on the inside, you could always die cut them and cut the frame off and get a different look. I thought this would look good in black on our light colored background. Okay, now for both of the cards, I needed a little sentiment strip, and I used the new Pretty Pink Posh Let's Party stamp set. There are great sentiments in here for birthdays, and there are those circle elements and coordinating dies available that are great for shaker cards. I didn't make a shaker card today, but I do like the look of those and the fact that they could be used for a great backdrop too. So I stamped Happy Birthday to You on the edge of a piece of white cardstock. Then I rotated it and did it on this edge of the other side of it. So I have 2 happy birthday greetings. I actually rotated it and did a third one just in case I messed up one of the others. I always like to have a spare. Now I'm using my trick with my trimmer, where I put in a piece of colorful cardstock right against the blade. I then slide in my cardstock, and I can easily see where the blade will cut. I then can make sure that the width is just right before I cut it. So you can see the sentiment is lined up between the top and bottom of that little strip. Then I can go ahead and cut it, and there we have a nice sentiment strip centered just right. And I'll do that with the other 2. I ended up not needing that third one, thankfully, because the first one and the second one cut just fine. So here's another example. I have my pink cardstock right against the blade. Slide my stamped cardstock underneath it. Make sure I like what the sentiment strip looks like. Then I cut it. And we have our 2 sentiment strips for the 2 cards. I just need to cut the ends. So now I'll glue these onto the card. You can see that little bow that's white on this card and black on the other. That bow die is included with the birthday cake background die. So it's a fun little accent you can add to this card or others. Here I've put some strong liquid adhesive from Gina K on the back of our black Celebrate. I use my tweezers to make sure I get it positioned just right, and then I'll press it down. I also have my little sentiment strips that I'll put underneath it. On the card on the left, I decided only to do this sentiment strip. I felt like with the black outline, it had enough going on as is. So let's look at the completed cards. This is the light one first. Now you can see how the glitter is like inlaid in the outline of that birthday cake background, and it has the color that shows through behind it. So if you like the look of glitter, but you don't want to deal with the mess, this is a great way to get a glitter-covered card that won't rub off. I haven't been buying new glitter products, but I have all these old glitter pastes and gels that I thought I would put to good use, and it works great for this technique. If you don't have a background die like this, any kind of die with opening can be done on a smaller scale. Here is the one with the dark outline. I think I like the light outline one better, but in this case, I used up some cardstock scraps. Note that when you put the glitter gel or glitter paste over the bright colors, it does mute them a bit. So you end up with a lighter color showing through. I did add some black iridescent pearls to the cake and to the bow just for a little bit more dimension. So when I think about all the different background dies that I have, a lot of them would work great with this technique. So it's a good way to use up those gels and pastes you may have. Also, I think it's fun that you can get 2 very different looks, one's softer and one's kind of darker, just by changing up the cardstock outline you use. This is such a fun way to use up some gels and pastes you have and get new life out of background dies. Okay, I have another pair of examples where I use the same products but different colors of cardstock once again to show you the different looks you can get. And this time I use different glitter gels too, just to show that whatever you have will work. Okay, here I have the Pretty Pink Posh Heart Vine background die. I think this is a great background die. It also has the hearts there in the center that you can use as accents on the vines. You could even make this look like a Christmas kind of background, put some red berries on it. You can work it for summer or spring by putting little flowers. I'm going to go for kind of a Valentine's look with pinks. One of my cards, I'll start with kind of a peachish pink background there, a coral background. That is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I die cut the background from white cardstock. This time I decided to use liquid adhesive. This is Gina K Connect. I usually use that adhesive unless it's just a really intricate die, in which case I'll use a spray adhesive or the adhesive sheets as I showed you before. So this will be one of my card backgrounds. Very simple. For the other card, I used a darker coral background and added a lighter coral die cut on top. Now it's time to add some of the shimmer. This time I'm using Ranger Stickles gel. They actually have gel that works great for this. This one is actually a clear glitter gel that also has gold sequins in it, tiny little gold sequins or gold confetti. So I have had this and wanted to use it, but was really unsure how to, and it worked really well for this. So this goes to show you any silver, gold, glitter paste, gels, whatever you have, would be fun for this particular technique. In this case, I don't have a bunch of different colors to show through like in the last one. I just have that dark coral. So it's fun to add other things on top, like this gold star glitter. So again, this is an iridescent glitter and gold sequins or confetti in that clear gel. So after I've spread it around, I use my palette knife to kind of smooth it. Remember, the outline of this is raised so we can fill in the areas between. Now for the lighter background, I'm using a different Ranger stickle. This one just has clear glitter, clear iridescent glitter in it. This is very similar to the moon paste I used before, but it has a little less iridescence to it. I really like this one. It's very easy to spread. You could even use your stencil pal to just scrape it smooth at the end and put all the excess back into the bottle. Again, wipe off your tools so that it doesn't dry on there. Okay, so I came back about an hour later and look how beautiful that is. It's going to look better when we add another die cut on top. Now I noticed there was a little bit of warping. That's because that peach cardstock was a little lighter weight than I usually use. So I decided to put a piece of double-sided adhesive on the back of it and then add it to my note card. So it covers the front of this 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch note card. You don't have to use a full sheet of double-sided adhesive there. You could instead cover it generously with a liquid adhesive, but this seemed the fastest and made it nice and flat. Next, I die cut another of the heart background from white cardstock and glued that on top. That gives it a nice clean look because the die cut underneath it did have some glitter still on it. So now it looks like the glitter is only in between the die cut, so only filling the openings. It's a cool kind of glitter inlay technique. Okay, now once we fill in that center circle, it'll look even better. But let's go back to the other background. This one looks like a mess right now, but I promise it'll look better in a moment. I am adhering it to a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch top folding white note card. You can see there's some warping on that background, and this will flatten it out nicely. Okay, so now I'll press that from the back of the card just to make sure it sticks nicely. And on this one, I have a peach colored die cut using liquid adhesive on the back of that and putting it on top, which gives it a much cleaner look. So again, now it looks like the glitter and all those silver or gold stars are in between the die cut pattern. Gives an inlay look also. Okay, so to finish off these cards was very simple, and it also, I think, helped quite a bit to have a solid look right there in the center at the focal point. So on the card on the left, I did a white heart at the center. The card on the right, I did a peach heart. I also did a white frame on the card on the left, like I did on the birthday cake card I showed you earlier. By having these clean die cuts on top, it gives a clean look on the final result. Now for sentiment, I used one of my absolute favorite all-time die sets. I've used it many times. It's from Pretty Pink Posh. It's been out for quite a while. It's the Hello Friend die. I like the set because you can use the Hello or the Friend separately or together. For sentiments underneath that, I used the new Pretty Pink Posh All My Love stamp set. I really like the hearts in this. Again, you can make great shaker windows with the stamping in the center, but I'm only using the sentiment today. Lila plans to use this set for her Valentine's. All right, let's look at the first completed card. I added the white hearts in the center as I showed you and stamped You Are Loved on there. I also added the Hello die cut. For that Hello die cut, I die cut 2 from white cardstock and 1 from gold and glued those together so the top layer is that gold shine. I also added some gold pearls in the background. I felt like the gold on the Hello and the gold pearls pulled in together with those little star gold confetti pieces that are in the background. So here's a closer look. It's really fun because it looks a bit different when you tilt it in the light. I like that it has a lot going on, but there's that focal point in the center. It was pretty quick to pull together, and I was able to use up some of the glitter gel that I've been having on my shelf for quite some time. So this example shows that you can use this die cut technique with your interesting glitter gels, not just the clear glitter ones. You could use silver, gold, or ones with confetti as you see here. Now here's the other where I use the stickle gel that really is just kind of like a fine clear glitter in a gel. And so it gives a softer look. But in the center of this one, I did a holographic Hello die cut, which adds some shine and interest to it. Here's a closer look at that glitter that you see in the background. It's a little bit different. I really like this particular Stickles glitter gel very much. I feel like it would go with a variety of colors of cardstock and different styles of cards. So if you're looking for a glitter gel, this is a great one. Another that I highly recommend is the Gina K Designs Glitter Glitz Gel. The container is bigger, so it goes farther. I just happened to run out of the clear iridescent glitter glitz, but I will link it below if you wanted to check that out. Okay, next I have another example of using a paste on your card, and I'm so excited about this because when I tried it, I didn't realize it would end up looking like silk. It's really cool, and I'll do more with it in the future. Now for this one, I used a new Pretty Pink Posh stencil. I thought these flowers were pretty, and I like how you can arrange them in different ways on your card. I decided to go with blue flowers and green leaves, so I have just masked off with some masking tape one of the flowers on the top of my white cardstock. I'm using an Altenew ink blending tool, but whatever ink brush or blending tool you have would be great. I first did a light amount of turquoise sea, which is kind of a turquoise color. Then I came in towards the center of that flower with a bit of a heavier hand and a brighter blue ink. So this is blue raspberry, just to give a little light and dark to the flower. I then moved on to add some leaves, and for the leaves I used key lime ink from Gina K Designs and also the Lucky Clover. So whatever inks you have should work just fine for this. After you've done a collection or a cluster of leaves and flowers however you want, I do recommend heat setting your ink or giving it some time to dry. I forgot to. I didn't heat set it, and I know I should have, because we're going to put a product over this and we don't want to smear it. If I would have heat set it, it wouldn't have smeared, so just keep that in mind. But I actually like the results I get. Okay, now on top of this, I wanted to put like a pearl paste, and I dug through my stash and I reached for this one first. I actually think this product might be discontinued, but it's from Therm and it's just a pearl paste. I will link to others that after this video I tried and I found out they worked out great. So if you wanted to try this technique, I'll link to some products that would work for it. At first I was using like a little applicator, foam applicator to spread this out, and I realized that was too hard to do. All you need to do is put a glop of it on your project and use something straight like this stencil pal to go back and forth over it in one direction. This ended up giving this beautiful silk look when it dried. Just those kind of lines that you get from spreading across, so pretty. Now I let that dry and decided I wanted to add more of the pearl paste. So I put another glob down, just spread that right across with my stencil pal to do kind of an even layer. Again, it kind of creates those little lines in it that looks like fabric when it dries. So you can put as much or as little on it as you want. Each time I really pressed firmly, so it ended up being a thin layer, and I could put all the excess back into the jar. You can see my inks kind of smearing there, but it actually worked out to kind of give that silk feel to it. But if you don't want any of the color spreading, just heat set the inks first. I wanted to have a large frame around this, so I'm using this new die set from Pretty Pink Posh. It's perfect for creating frames on a Slimline card. But I didn't want to do a Slimline card, so I'll use it creatively on a regular card. So I took the larger of the two frames, and I'm cutting it from the piece that we just added the pearl over. The pearl is nice and dry now, so we can go ahead and die cut it. Now we have this faux silk piece that's just beautiful in real life. I wish you could see it. I created a white frame using the die I showed you to put around that, and I'm gluing it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white note card. I added 2 more frames for dimension around our faux silk too. Now earlier I showed you that Hello Friend die set. Here I used the friend, and I die cut it twice from white cardstock and once from a pale blue mirror cardstock, and added that on top. I also put You're My Favorite white heat embossed on a light blue cardstock strip, and that is from the heart stamp set that I showed you earlier. To finish it off, I added a few little pearls scattered here and there. Now, if you look closely, you can see the shine and the shimmer from that pearl paste that we put on top. But you can also see that it gives a faux silk look. When I showed this to my brother after I finished it, he said, "That looks like silk." I said, "Good." That's what I was thinking too. It's one of those techniques that people will say, "How'd you do that?" But really all you did was use a stencil. You could do stamping if you wanted, and then put that pearl paste over it in a very thin layer. All right, there are some ideas for using your pastes and gels on cards, especially with background dyes, and also to create specialty looking papers for your cards. So break those out and use them. I think there's a lot of fun ways you can use them with products you have. If you're interested in the different products I talk about here, I do link them below in my YouTube description. You can also go to my blog, which is linked here on the top right. I always have much, much more information over there. Also in the middle, I have a couple other videos to check out. I hope this video is helpful and that you learned a thing or two to try next time you craft. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.